from different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Well, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jessica and Tim.
Hey, welcome to our awesome world-renowned podcast.
Yes, we have 5 million listeners.
Hi.
On a daily occurrence. For those of you who have not joined us, we are so excited that this is potentially your first ever episode listening to us. We started season 2 not too long ago. There's a lot of twos in that.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And we are just your everyday Methodists. And the world is mad. It's a mad world. But we're just so excited that we get to share insight from our home church, Palmdale United Methodist Church, sharing with you sermon feedback and a few other things that go on in our day-to-day, just to kind of humanize religion, right? Because
yes.
It can be a very intense word at times.
I was robotizing it before, but I'm going to humanize it now.
Yeah,
right.
That's great. Yeah, sometimes people will robotize.
Yeah,
so
robotize.
It sounds like we're saying robot.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Robotism, robot.
Some people robotism Methodism, but we humana Methodism.
Yeah, I basically I think the overall idea is you don't have to be a religion and you don't have to be a pastor. You could just be like an everyday normal Methodist. To
the madness.
To the madness. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't know, our podcast is called Methodists to the Madness, based on there's always a method to the madness. So
they had to look that up to find the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm sure if people search "method to the madness," they'll find our podcast.
Yeah, they could.
And there's also a very slight chance that we all have ADHD, which is what makes this podcast the most unique experience you will ever have while listening. We don't know where we can end up, and that's the joy of it. That's not part of the madness. That's actually the method to this podcast.
Right.
I thought that was the madness. I thought we were bringing the madness.
No.
Yeah. It's kind of like how you make food or something. You're dicing tomatoes or something. You don't know whether it's the madness or the Methodism that's thrown in there that has the ADHD going and our everyday experience sharing. It's like dicing tomatoes. Yes. Yep.
Exactly.
Jessica, what's going on with you?
Yeah, what's happening, Jessica?
So lots happened this past week. We had our Young Adult Sunday, which took a lot of really diligent planning. And there was Veterans Day, which for some, they're super stoked. Mine was a bit rough, but to each their own, right? And then, this past Tuesday, on the 12th, we had our 20-week anatomy scan with little baby Young.
Ooh.
And everything's great. All of the toes and the fingers and the hands and the arms and the legs and the heart and the organs, everything is where it's supposed to be. And
good.
We are very fortunate and very, glad to hear that the baby is progressing as it's supposed to throughout the pregnancy. And it's crazy to think that, it's crazy to think that it's been 5 months and that I have literally less than that left.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what's been going on over here. But Beth, Tim, how are you guys doing?
Do you want to go first, Beth, or should I go first?
You go first, Tim.
Okay, so I guess I could mention that my weekend was really interesting because I was one of the participants in Young Adult Sunday, and I think that just kind of preoccupied my emotional mind like all the way until the event. And what's interesting is I think I was more preoccupied not by what I was going to share, but that I was going to be singing. I was really surprised that I had spent a lot, probably the most of the time, listening to those songs before I ended up singing. So, but then like we ended up rehearsing the songs anyway, so I had nothing to worry about. So it was just such a really nice experience. And we'll probably mention this later on in the podcast, but I just really got so much out of Young Adult Sunday here this last Sunday. And then let's see what else. So I wanted to share that I have been thinking a little bit more about the things that I do with my activities and how like you have stimulation and you have things that you do in your everyday life. And then sometimes you do things impulsively and sometimes you don't. And I was thinking maybe what would help me a lot is if I was to be a little bit more purposeful with my decision making. And that might include like limiting the things that I do so that I cater my behavior to like a particular like goal or something, or like how I'm going to feel or what I'm going to accomplish that day. And so I was thinking about that. And I think that might be helpful, kind of similar to what we were talking about in a previous episode about the fasting. Like I think that I can actually maybe pull that off if I kind of think about my activities like one by one, and then also think about maybe fasting periods for what I decide to do with my time. Besides that, I started watching this one anime called Blue Period, and I wouldn't have started watching it if I wasn't really inclined to get my mom to watch anime with me. So I found this one anime called Blue Period on Netflix, and it's a really good drama that focuses on a main character, a male student that is really interested in art, but initially he was not really sure that like he was going to do that at all. Like he was thinking that that was a ridiculous pursuit for him to go forward with. But then he found that he was so inspired by certain things regarding expressing himself with art that he just changed his whole like pursuit that he was going to do with school. And he's going to art university instead. So it was just such a compelling story. And what I was surprised to find is my mom was actually like, "Hey, let's watch the next episode," and I wasn't even the first one to say that. So I guess I was successful in slowly but surely making it so she's more of an anime fan. So I was pretty happy about that. And then finally, I wanted to mention that I was right before we started recording in the podcast. I need to feed the dogs, and one of my dogs is named Molly, and she just gets so excited when she sees me. Like I noticed something really interesting that she does. She does this like unusual jumping action, like it's kind of like a dancing jump with her front legs, and like it's just crazy. And then the other thing that happened is the other day, my mom and I were walking the dogs at the park, and Molly was going over to this little girl and like super like nice to her and stuff, but she's just all crazy. And the girl was like, the girl had said, "Oh, she's crazy." I mean, to think that a little girl who'd never seen my dog before just decided to state that my dog is crazy. So that's proof right there.
Yeah.
That my dog Molly is crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. What about you, Beth? What do you have for us?
I have one of those crazy dogs too, but her name is Jovi.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And
awesome. Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
yeah. I really enjoyed the Young Adult Sunday. I always want to call you guys the youths, like youth day, and I'm like,
right.
no, they're not that young.
I guess we're youthful adults.
Youthful adults. Yep, that's what we'll call it now.
It's youths, guys.
Well, let's call it youthful group instead of youth group. Anyway, so let's see. It's like I forget everything that's ever happened to me when it's my turn to talk. But I got really into crafting over the weekend. I mean, I'm always into crafting.
Ooh.
But I brought the perler beads home from the office. Don't tell them. I think it's fine. And I made this 3D gingerbread house out of pearl.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And this one is like this one that I made is the smaller of the two. There's one where you can make an even bigger gingerbread house. And Jessica, I made this for Amber.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Wow.
I'm going to let you surprise her on.
Ooh, that is so exciting.
She doesn't listen to the podcast, right? No.
Wait, should we say it on the podcast? Ooh.
Yeah, guys, I don't think any of our like close relatives even listen to our podcast.
Is anybody listening to it?
Tim, does your mom listen to the podcast?
She's had some interest, but I don't think she is listening to it.
You know, I think it's because she lives with you, though. You know, she lives with you all the time. My parents listen because I'm all the way out here and they're in the Midwest. Those weirdos. Just kidding. But Sunday, we've been doing our family time and we'll choose something, and we decided to go watch The Wild Robot. And
yes, wonderful.
It was so good. I loved it so much, and like I want to see it again because there were so many themes that I was trying to piece together, and like, oh, I can see what they're trying to say there, and I think I want to see it again.
Do exactly what I did. I saw it twice in the movie theater, Beth. Okay. It's totally worth it the second time. You'll understand it way better and appreciate it way more.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. And then while I was crafting, I was watching some shows that my brother recommended. And one of them he recommended was called High Potential. I think it's on ABC. And
it's really good.
Oh.
I find it to be mediocre, but I watched all the episodes and the boys like to watch it with me. And then it's like when we watch the show together, it's like we're Mystery Science Theatering the show. And we're and anyway, I was watching it and it was like the 6th episode, and I looked up and I heard a voice on the TV that sounded really familiar. And I was like, I know that actor. Where do I know him from? And I look on the screen and I'm still trying to place him. And I'm like, wait, is that my improv teacher?
What?
Oh, yeah. I looked it up. And it was my improv teacher.
No way.
The episode of High Potential that I was watching.
That's crazy.
Jonathan, the accountant. And Jessica, he has a role coming up in St. Dennis. He will be a reporter. His name.
Oh, that's so awesome. I got to watch that. The first episode came out last night.
Oh, okay. How many episodes are out?
One.
Okay. Maybe he's in that one. But, yeah, his name is Jake Regal, if you want to look him up. I thought that was pretty cool. And
wow, yeah.
I was never expecting to know him from real life. I was like, whoa, I met that guy in person. Okay.
That is so interesting. So you unknowingly met a celebrity.
Yeah. And it's not even that it's a small world. It's just that I happen to live near the world that he comes from,
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I have.
What a joyful conclusion to your week, Beth.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that I made Joy. What I made for Amber was Joy from Inside Out.
You mean you made her a joyful person from Inside Out? No, it is Joy.
So inspired by the children's time that Amber did. And I'm so inspired. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm not inspired anymore.
Inspiration has left us.
I was gonna try to segue to the next thing, which was the Methodist moment, but then I forgot we didn't do church updates.
So yeah, we got to do some of those.
Yeah, let's do a quick church update. So a few things going on. First, I would like to say that jam-packed week. Lots happening. Pretty sure we've got a lot of things happening in November, so listen up, y'all. This Sunday, the 17th, the young adults are having a Friendsgiving potluck over at a couple of the young adults' house. Caitlin and Will Clontz have volunteered to open their home for all of us to go there. The tentative time is 1:30. We want to give people a little bit of extra time to get their little snacky snacks before heading over there. And if you're interested in joining us for that potluck, just message me. You don't know my phone number, nor will I say that on the podcast.
Send an email to.
Well, they
send an email to Methodist to the Matt email, and in the subject line put
Jessica.
Why a potluck 2024 is the greatest world at PUMC.
To get a discount on the potluck.
Yeah, and then we'll be sure to get back to you and make sure that the A from the YA is the @ sign. That will specify that it's young adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep us posted on that. Then next up is on Sunday, 11/24, is Stewardship Sunday. I do want to mention actually very briefly on this coming Sunday, the 17th, is going to be a very musical Sunday. A lot of worship is going to be happening. So it's a very exciting Sunday because not only will Dawn be leading us in worship for both services, but yours truly is coming up with a sermon for the 9 a.m. and the 11.
What?
So, I am so excited for that.
A lot of planning is happening. A lot of prayer is happening. And I'm very excited to share, a spiritual music-led sermon. I'm very excited that Raymond is going to be joining me and Don will be joining on the lead guitar. And I get to play a few of my songs that I've written, and I'm very excited to share those with everybody. So that is
wonderful.
And then the following Sunday, Stewardship Sunday, that's on 11/24. And then on Wednesday, 11/27, Food for Thought, 6 p.m. It'll be a Thanksgiving theme. Please sign up in the lobby. And then Wednesday, 11/27 is Kids Club.
Mm-hmm. That's the same day that you just said.
At 5:30.
Yep.
It is the same. Yes, it's the same Wednesday.
The same day. It's a different time.
In case you were thinking that 11/27 happened in 2025, these are both happening in 2024.
Yes.
Unless you
indeed.
thought it was November of 2027. It's not that either.
Right. This is all 2024. So
right. We're not going back in time either. So you don't have to worry about 2023 or 2022.
Right. Even though in some ways we might be going back.
We might be going back in time right now.
Well, maybe morale. Anyways, 2025 has a lot to bring to us. We will not go into politics. Sunday, 12/1. We have Messy Advent and the Christmas boutique. And guys, I'm very excited about this. Very excited to have so many holiday focused, getting in the holiday spirit things happening, but also getting a little messy, getting into the holiday spirit with a lot of crafting. So Sunday one that is all happening. So those are updates that are in the bulletin. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to dive into Methodist moment.
Methodist moment. Methodist moment.
I bequeath the Methodist moment to the young adults. Now,
that's right.
Thank you, Beth.
You took over the sermon. I'm also giving you the Methodist moment. You're welcome.
Thanks, Beth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're excited to highlight the young adults for an incredible Sunday that they were able to, as I said on Sunday, hopefully inspire everyone in some way. And for those that are interested in joining our young adult group, we do meet every other Sunday, mostly at myself and Amber's home in Leona Valley. Again, I will not give my address out via the podcast, but we can absolutely connect. If you're interested on joining our group chat that we have on text, email methodisttothemadness@gmail.com. You can use the same subject line as we did before.
I forgot to write it down. Can you say what it was again?
Yes, so it's YA. The A is an @ sign. Okay. Adult potluck 2024 is the greatest at EUMC. I think that was it.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's
awesome. That's great.
If I really got that right, that's amazing.
Check your inbox. No, wait, that's my inbox. I sent it to myself.
Right.
No.
But yeah, Jessica, do you want to share a little bit of how we prepared the sermon section for Young Adult Sunday?
Yeah. So, on one of the Sundays that we normally meet, we all had a conversation about, what would we really want to, highlight and share for the church to represent us as young adults. And, one thing that we knew was relatable amongst the church is that we all go through things. We all have experienced life. And the only difference is that we're all at different stages in life.
Yeah.
And so we really wanted to kind of allow for each young adult to prayerfully decide what subject they wanted to focus on that could really, be something that was relatable in terms of what they're going through, something that they really wanted to share with the church. And so, and in the setting of this, we wanted the setting to be very casual because kind of like Friends, which is why we had the couch and coffee.
I loved it.
Yeah.
We just wanted people to feel like we were all just hanging out together and talking about things that we go through in life and the different seasons in life. And, and that's where the Ecclesiastes 3,
1 through
11 really focused in on how there's a time for everything. And some of those times were a time for self, whether it was self-discovery, self-reflection, a time for work and
work-life balance.
A time for time, reflecting on time and how we're utilizing that, anxiety, stress, and the utility of doubt and faith and how that weaves within our faith journey. And a huge point for Peter for interjecting the quadrilateral. That was
I know.
The quadrilateral.
I know. He did such a great job with introducing that. And
I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, represent, Peter.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And so with that, we really just we put together a Google Doc to keep everything organized and for everybody to put their scripts together. And it was really just a group team effort in doing this. And I was really excited to help lead us in worship for this, and even more excited that I was able to just have free range on new music to introduce to the church.
Yeah.
Because, and what's interesting is that I was praying over what music to choose for the service, and I made the decision before election results, and so no matter where you're at on the political spectrum, I think anyone can relate to the future and what the future holds. And so I think that it was really great for all of us to come together, share our thoughts on, things that are happening in our lives today, to allow for people to not only get to know us personally, but to also relate to us in wherever they're at in their life, in their faith journey, any of those things. So it was a lot of fun preparing the Young Adult Sunday.
Yeah, it was really neat. I thought that probably one of the most powerful things is that we all shared a message that resonated with us. So it was like, this is kind of a funny way to say it, but it was like one of us could not have come up with such a very deep amount of content. Like we basically had 5 young adult brains up there, just bringing forth all of this great spiritually inspired content. And so it was just a really amazing experience. And speaking from my experience, I wouldn't have even decided to sing if it hadn't been for Young Adult Sunday, because I felt like it was just the right thing for me to do. I wanted to just be so involved with what we were doing. So this was my first time being part of the praise team. And so it just ended up being such a wonderful experience. And Jessica was really inviting on that. And I really appreciated that. And then afterwards, I talked to Don, and he was really happy that I would want to join the praise team afterwards. So I'm going to try to find some time and be part of the praise team on certain Sundays. So yeah, there's just so much that happened. It was awesome.
I'm so excited for you, Tim. We need that bass.
Yeah.
I'm all about that bass.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I guess my voice is totally different than Dawn's. So even though I'm another male singer,
it
and
works.
You bring the choir down a whole octave, but that's from Elf.
Tim knows just how to bring us down.
Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed so hard at that, because that's the anti-Tim. Bring it all down.
Why is my voice so deep then? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, and one last thing I thought was interesting is it really was kind of a shout out for scripture reading in general, doing live scripture reading, because I hadn't done live scripture reading before Young Adult Sunday. I periodically, every few months or so, do scripture reading, but I would always record it. But it was actually really special to do it live. So for anybody that gets is interested in scripture reading, you can call the church office or email us at methodistmadness@gmail.com. But for anybody that's a routine scripture reader, you might consider doing a live scripture reading. It's kind of nice.
You have to do it for both services, though.
Yeah, I did have to do it for both services.
Yeah, that's all right. That's why we all get paid the big bucks when, you got paid, right, Tim?
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's in the mail, Tim. It's in the mail. I really enjoyed the service. I think we just like seamlessly transitioned from the Methodist moment to sermon feedback. So
totally.
Yeah. This was the most seamless out of all the episodes in Methodist to the Madness. We did the most seamless transition right now. It's
yep.
And I think it's only natural to let you be the person to provide very specific sermon feedback, Beth.
Okay. Right. I was going to watch it twice because I loved everything that all of you had to say, but I was only able to watch it the one time. But I loved Amber's children's moment. She talked about all the emotions that we might have. And I might have been trying not to cry during Amber's children's moment. And I really only know you, Jessica, and Amber, and you, Tim, and I don't really know the other young adults. So and I loved getting their perspectives and just everything. Everyone had such good things to say, and it seemed really polished. I thought that you guys did a really good job of preparing everything. And Tim, I noticed that you brought your scuba mug for
yeah.
for the coffee. They were so cute. They had coffee mugs, and then one of them forgot their coffee mug. So who forgot their coffee mug? Was it?
I think I did, and Caitlin might have done that as well.
Ran up a coffee mug to somebody. I can't remember. But I loved it. And was there anything in the coffee mugs?
Not mine.
Some people did. Tim definitely didn't, because at times Tim had his mug like sideways. Tim was like bottoms down, literally just at one point, Tim, you had a bottle of water, you had your mug and the microphone all or like your notes all intertwined. And I was like, please don't get your lotion out. Please don't apply your lotion. But thankfully there was nothing in the mug. There
was no lotion.
Yeah.
What if there was lotion in the mug?
That would have been hilarious. Yeah. Except if you were when you did hold it sideways, if it came out, people would be like, oh my gosh, what is dripping out of that mug?
Hey, luckily it's not olive oil. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That was actually one thing Amber said was, we're so glad that you switched to lotion, because if you had applied olive oil before passing that microphone around, that would have been one slippery mic.
Yeah.
So I recently bought some goat's milk hand cream from Costco.
Oh, nice.
That's really nice. And it comes in 5 different scents, and it's not greasy on your hands.
Yeah, for sure.
This podcast is brought to you by Goat Milk Hand Cream.
And the tagline is "Goats make sense."
And the promo code is whatever Jessica told you to write in the subject for the young adult potluck.
Yeah.
So
/goat
with an @ symbol, rewind the podcast if you need to. But also the people that I talked to really enjoyed your sermon too, or the thing, I mean. And I think somebody even said that maybe we should do it once a month.
Yeah, there was once a month, and then there was somebody else that said once a quarter.
I think once a quarter would be more realistic, especially considering we all have busy lives, and this isn't your day job. So once a quarter is probably good. Jessica's planning two Sundays in a row.
Oh, I know.
Are they in a row?
Well, and then I'm also, Don is wanting me to help lead the 11 o'clock worship for the 24th.
Oh, wow. No way. That's awesome.
So it's still TBD because he had plans to go somewhere and those plans fell through, but he's still thinking of just jamming with me up on the 11th, which I'm totally down with that. So
yeah,
that's wonderful. Yeah. Very nice.
That'd be fun. So good job, you guys. Good job, young adults.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Beth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jessica, do you have any thoughts about the just overall that you haven't shared yet? I actually rewatched it. I could probably share some thoughts.
If you want to share some of your thoughts, Tim.
Okay, so
hear it.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, of course, I had some inspiration in like sharing my part of the message, but I realized that because I was so preoccupied with what I was going to say, I totally didn't hear anything that anybody else was sharing for their message. And I realized that because when I was listening to the message on the way home from work today, and basically everybody just had like such a wonderful perspective on all of those things, like time, work-life balance, anxiety, faith and doubt. And then like I felt really good about what I shared. But like, just to give a little bit of like information about all of that, I can totally relate to like Caitlin's experience of time. Like just finding time for God is really like challenging sometimes, like with being so busy. It's just difficult. And so I think what she said about basically just finding that time for God in those little moments, like maybe before dinner or before we go to bed, or just maybe first thing in the morning or something, I think is a really good way to jump forward into like a spiritually filled day. And then I was really like amazed what Will talked about with regarding work-life balance. He mentioned that he was experiencing burnout. And I can personally relate to that. I think it was like a few months ago, or like definitely sometime last year, where I was experiencing burnout at work. And it was a really significant like thing, and it made things more difficult. And so his advice about the Sabbath was really like helpful, and just kind of finding that period of time, whether it's a full day or just like however many hours. I think that's really helpful. In fact, it kind of reminds me of how like recently, it was a couple of days ago, actually, I forgot to mention this in my update, but I realized that for kind of like a fast, basically completely tune out of social media. So like basically completely solitary can be really therapeutic. So that definitely is a way to like combat burnout and just kind of like get back on track and have that work-life balance. And then what Amber shared about anxiety was really like therapeutic. And I can personally relate to that, about kind of taking on the burdens of others when you're helping them with anxiety and so forth, and like the difficulties that they're having in their life. Like it can really like take a toll on you emotionally. And so like her pointing out that about like basically trusting in God, finding rest within God, is just really like powerful. And the scripture she shared was just like amazing. And I want to read through that again. I think it was Philippians. I forgot what verse it was. But then I'm also reminded of the one with Jesus talking about take my yoke upon you, and I will give you rest, and give our burdens to Jesus. It's also like the scripture that I tend to think about when it comes to burdens and anxiety. And then Peter's message was something I can really relate to, like as far as my faith journey is concerned, because I was without faith for many years of my life. And it was basically due to being very skeptic and doubtful in regards to spirituality and God. And I think like that really the Wesleyan quadrilateral, like unknowingly, I had been practicing that in order to find my faith in God. And when after Peter shared all of that, it kind of just was like clear to me that that's what happened. So like the first thing was I experienced Scripture for myself. I went into Scripture, like read through some of the Gospels, and I had never done that before. Doing it for myself, like in regards to nothing else but like trying to unfold my spiritual life. And then at that point, I found the Palmdale United Methodist Church, like experiencing that tradition. And then like using my experience of God and then kind of like catering my reason that I had prior to finding faith. And then after finding faith, just kind of like brought it all together. And now I like have faith in God. And I think God found me, honestly, because like, I guess I'd always been so appreciative of like religion in general, but it was only like when I actually like found the Bible, like for my own personal like spiritual journey, that it all kind of like unfolded. But it wouldn't have happened if I mean, maybe I would have got there eventually, found the United Methodist Church, but just got really lucky to happen to find Palmdale United Methodist Church and just have that experience. So yeah, I don't know. This was like a second testimony or something, I guess, but
Are you a born again Methodist?
Yeah, born again Methodist. And then, yeah, I guess putting it all together, it's like maybe finding our new self is sort of like doing all the things that all of the young adults shared in the message. Like you find time for God, like trust in God and give all your burdens to God, and you're able to have less anxiety, and then find that work-life balance by just sort of like maybe practicing the Sabbath or having a spiritual moment with God, and then finally like be okay with questioning and growing your faith, and don't be afraid to like lean on others in the process and so forth. And then maybe that's like your new self right there, just like bringing forth everything that you know about spirituality, and then just like, yeah, just letting your old self go and just find your new self for Jesus, you know? So
yeah, for sure. It makes me wonder, when is Pastor Jim coming back?
I think never at this point. Just
never.
I think how long has it been? I don't know. Forever. It feels too long. I think he'll be back on Sunday, even though he's not sermoning. I think. Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so he'll be at the service on Sunday?
I think so.
Okay. I wonder, I hope that he well, he did tell us, we'll have to do this, again. So I think that means he received us very well. So if
you guys are the senior pastors now.
So now we're definitely in it. So
I'm excited.
I think for me, I've felt very honored that he asked us to do this, and that he entrusted us to lead the church basically on last Sunday.
Yeah.
Because
wow,
that's a huge ask, like especially if it's somebody's very first time coming to the church and they see that this is happening. We're representing the church, and so
that's beautiful.
Very fortunate that we were able to all come together and do this. And
yeah, I'm really happy that you said that, Jessica. I feel the same, honestly. Like it was a really special moment in my life being up there on the stage and like sharing the messages and just being up there with all of you young adults, and that we're all friends. And like, honestly, I would say that's probably, I don't think I'm exaggerating in saying that that was one of the happiest experiences of my life, doing that on the stage there. That was awesome. That was wonderful.
Well, you're going to have to come back, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. But keep the happiness going,
Yeah. That's just you.
Well, I do want to give a special shout out to the the one person that nobody really saw on stage, but did an
I know who it is
helping. Who is it, Beth?
It's Reva Morris.
Yes,
Reva. Reva is part of our young adult life group, and she did the sound engineering for us, using her talents for that. So we were very appreciative that she is part of our young adult group, because if she wasn't, then we would all have had to yell.
Yeah, exactly.
There would have been no microphone use. It would have just been a disaster. So we're very fortunate that Reva was able to help us in that way.
Yeah, and she saved the audience from what happened with me and the microphone. When I did the scripture reading, I'm like, hello, and then it ended up being super loud. And Reva helped mitigate the problem. It was excellent. So maybe that would just be happening the whole time with my my voice in the microphone if Reva hadn't been there to save the day. So
yeah, that's right.
You might still be there trying to fiddle with your microphone if Reva didn't.
Tim is actually in the church right now.
Yeah, that's with the microphone that's too loud.
Yeah. Well, speaking of too loud, how about some prayer?
What?
How about some
prayer requests?
So, Beth, do you have any prayer requests?
I do. As a matter of fact, the first one, my mom, who just got over her, she had rotator cuff surgery earlier this year, and she's healed from that, but she keeps continuing to injure it. And what happened the most recently was she fell through a soft spot of the deck, and I think she hurt her. I think she said she dislocated it, but she had to go to the urgent care. And we just started exercising together again, and now she can't exercise with me because she needs her arms to do that. So prayers for my mom, and prayers for Owen's friend who is going through a really difficult time right now. He's going through some family stuff, and that's all I'm going to say, but prayers for him.
Okay. Yeah, will do.
Yeah, definitely, Beth.
Tim, do you have any prayer requests?
I don't. I can't really think of anything for myself except.
All right, we're moving
just
on.
Just real quick for myself, I guess. Just a prayer for me to just continue to find God in every moment. But really, I want to spend my prayer requests real quick here for the veterans, because Jessica. Maybe that was a little bit tough for you, but I was also thinking there's another veteran that I work with, and he said that about how veterans have like PTSD and stuff, and my brother's a veteran too. And I was just thinking I think maybe the veterans could use a prayer right now, because I know that it's not easy to have gotten through all of that and did such a great thing for our country. So yeah, I just thought I would mention that.
Was it easy, Jessica?
What?
Was it easy?
Some parts, but I think the part where the PTSD comes in, the sexual harassment, those things were not really fun.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I just wanted to know if Tim was right or not. So
Tim is very right. I think every veteran has their own story, and I think that's the beauty of everybody should get to know a veteran and let their story be heard, because some people have incredible experiences that are just, movie worthy or, TV worthy. And then there's some veterans where it's just incredibly heartbreaking to hear things that they had to endure, things that they
oh my gosh, yeah.
And just being open to hearing those things. So Tim, that is appreciated that you are extending a prayer out to veterans.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Jessica, prayer request for you?
Yeah. So I think continued prayers for baby.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, I think just prayers for God to continue to guide my mind for this coming Sunday as I finalize preparations for the sermon through music. So just prayers for that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm so excited, Jessica, for what's to come on the 17th.
In for a treat. That's all I gotta say.
This is the second treat. The first treat was Young Adult Sunday. Now we get something with Jessica and Raymond and Dawn.
Sunday.
What?
Because her last name's Young.
Oh, a Young Sunday. Yay.
Before we go, I wanted to mention that there's a really good show on Apple TV called Ted Lasso. No, I'm just kidding. That is a good show on Apple TV. It's my favorite. But right now I'm watching the show called Shrinking that has Jason Segel and Harrison Ford in it. And it's so good. And one of the storylines is about a young vet who's struggling with his own PTSD.
Oh, no way. Wow.
It's really, really good.
And thanks for sharing that, Beth.
I'm all about the pro therapy shows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Beth, because I'm right on board with, I think the two of you on this and anybody else that it really is so important to normalize talking about mental health. Mm-hmm. It's like, it could be very therapeutic for people that are going through something. So, yeah.
If you need someone to talk to, just email us at Methodist.
Yes. Yes, that's the other thing.
With the subject line, why potluck is the greatest at PUM. No. But, well, this was an awesome episode, and I appreciate everybody just kind of tooting our own horn that the young adults nailed it. But no, in all seriousness, we were very honored, and we're so excited that everyone really enjoyed it. It was a really spiritual time for all of us to be able to feel connected to God and leading up to that and preparing for that. But with all that being said,
stay mad, you Methodists.
We all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Different places, we all have different names.